There's a pattern that's destroyed 3 different civilizations across 2,000 years, and right now the United States is following it exactly. Rome, 200 AD, Detroit, 2013, Greece, 2010. 3 completely different times, 3 completely different places. But the collapse happened in exactly the same way, following exactly the same 5 stages. And Social Security? It's at stage 4 out of 5. This isn't speculation. This isn't fear-mongering. This is pattern recognition. And if you understand the pattern, you can see exactly what's coming and exactly when it's going to happen. Let me show you what pension collapse actually looks like in practice. It doesn't happen gradually. It happens in distinct stages, small adjustments that seem manageable, then acceleration, then sudden crisis. And every single civilization that's gone through this believed they were different. They believed their system was special. They believed it couldn't happen to them. Rome believed their military pension system was backed by the power of the Eternal Empire. Detroit believed the auto industry would last forever. Greece believed the European Union would always support them. They were all wrong. Stage 1. Unsustainable promises. This is where every pension collapse begins. Not with crisis, not with warnings, with promises that sound reasonable but are mathematically impossible. Rome, 200 AD. Emperor Augustus creates the first military pension system. Serve 20 years in the legions, receive a land grant and cash payment upon discharge. Simple, generous, politically popular. The math only works if Rome keeps expanding. More conquered territory equals more land to distribute. More plunder equals more cash payments. The system is built on the assumption of perpetual growth. Detroit, 1950s. Auto workers negotiate pension contracts promising 75 to 80% of final salary. The contracts are based on assumptions that seem reasonable at the time. Detroit's population will keep growing. The auto industry will keep dominating. Tax revenue will keep increasing. The city has 1.8 million people in 1950. The assumption is that number only goes up. Greece, 1980s. The government creates one of the most generous pension systems in Europe. Workers can retire at 50 or 55. They receive 80 to 95% of their salary. Some professions get even more. The system is based on 2 assumptions. Greece will keep growing economically. The European Union will provide support if needed. Both assumptions seem solid. United States, 1935. Social Security launches with a worker-to-retiree ratio of 16 to 1. 16 workers paying in for every 1 person collecting benefits. The system works perfectly at that ratio. But that ratio is based on 1935 demographics. High birth rates, lower life expectancy, most people dying. Before collecting much in benefits, those demographics no longer exist. Here's what people miss about stage 1. The promises aren't crazy when they're made. They're based on projections that seem reasonable. Population will keep growing. The economy will keep expanding. Tax revenue will keep increasing. The problem is that the projections are always too optimistic, and once the promises are made, they're almost impossible to take back. Stage 2. Warnings ignored. This stage can last for decades. Administrators know the system is unsustainable. Actuaries run the numbers and sound the alarm, but nothing changes. Why? Because the crisis is always 20 or 30 years away. Far enough that current politicians don't have to deal with it. Close enough that experts keep warning about it. Rome, 250 to 300 AD. Administrative documents show officials knew the pension system was unsustainable. The empire had stopped expanding. There was no more conquered land to distribute. Tax revenue was declining as the economy weakened. The solution? Debase the currency, reduce the silver content in coins, pay pensions with money that's worth less. It's not a fix, it's buying time. Detroit, 1970s through 1990s, city actuaries warn repeatedly that pension obligations are becoming impossible to meet. The auto industry is declining, the population is shrinking, tax revenue is falling. Unions oppose any cuts to benefits. Taxpayers oppose any increase in taxes. Politicians form committees to study the problem. Nothing changes. The warnings continue for 40 years. Greece, 2000 through 2008. The Bank of Greece warns the pension system is unsustainable. The OECD warns. The European Union warns. Everyone can see the problem. Worker to retiree ratio dropping. Pension costs consuming larger share of GDP. Tax revenue not growing fast enough. The math doesn't work. Committees are formed. Reports are written. Politicians promise reform. Nothing happens. United States, 1982 to present. The Social Security trustees have been warning since 1982 that the system faces insolvency. Every year, they publish a report. Every year, the report shows the same problem. In 1982, they projected insolvency in the mid-21st century. Now it's projected for 2033. The date keeps getting closer. Congress keeps doing nothing. Here's what makes stage 2 dangerous. The warnings create a false sense of security. If experts have been warning for decades and nothing bad has happened yet, maybe the warnings are overblown. Maybe the system will somehow fix itself. It never does. Stage 3, crisis measures. This is when governments start making changes. Not because they want to, because they have to. The math has become undeniable, but they don't fix the problem. They just delay the inevitable. Rome, 300 to 350 AD, with no more land. To distribute, the government starts substituting tax exemptions for land grants. Veterans receive exemption from certain taxes instead of actual land. The problem? Tax exemptions are only valuable if you have income to tax. Many veterans don't. And exemptions don't appreciate in value like land does. Veterans stop trusting the pension system. Recruitment becomes difficult. The military weakens. Detroit, 2000 through 2013. The city stops making full contributions to pension funds. It can't afford them. Instead, it issues pension obligation bonds, borrowing money to pay current obligations. The city also changes benefit formulas for new hires. Current workers keep their generous benefits. New workers get less. This creates a two-tier system and doesn't solve the fundamental problem. By 2013, Detroit's pension funds are only 60% funded. They need $3.5 billion more than they have. Greece, 2010 to 2012. The government freezes pension increases, then cuts pensions by 20% in 2011, then cuts them by another 15% in 2012. Each cut is promised to be the last. Each time, the government insists the system is now sustainable. Each time, they're wrong. United States, 1983 to present. Congress raises the retirement age from 65 to 67. They change the formula for calculating cost of living adjustments to show lower inflation than recipients actually experience. These changes reduce benefits but don't fix the fundamental problem. The worker to retiree ratio keeps declining. It's now less than 3 to 1. The math still doesn't work. Proposals for further changes circulate constantly. Means testing benefits, raising the retirement age to 69 or 70, increasing payroll taxes. But Congress doesn't act because any solution is politically toxic. Here's the pattern in stage 3. Every measure is presented as solving the problem. Every measure is actually just buying time, and the time bought gets shorter each cycle. Stage 4, mathematical impossibility. This is when the system reaches the point where no amount of tweaking can save it. The obligations exceed any realistic ability to pay. Rome, 375 to 400 AD. The empire has lost territory to barbarian invasions. Tax revenue has collapsed. The treasury is empty. Most pension obligations simply go unpaid. Veterans receive nothing. Some join barbarian tribes because at least they get paid. Others turn to banditry. The breakdown of the pension system accelerates the breakdown of military discipline. By 400 AD, the imperial treasury can barely pay active soldiers, let alone retired ones. Detroit, 2013. The city files for bankruptcy. It has $18 billion in debt, including $3.5 billion in unfunded pension obligations. The bankruptcy judge rules that pensions can be cut. This is Controversial because Michigan's constitution supposedly protects public pensions, but bankruptcy law overrides state constitutional protections. Retirees see their pensions cut by 4.5%. Their cost of living adjustments are eliminated entirely. People who worked 30 years believing they had a guaranteed pension learn that guarantees aren't guaranteed. Greece, 2012 to 2015. Pension spending reaches 17.5% of GDP. This is unsustainable. The government simply doesn't have the money. The worker to retiree ratio hits 2 to 1, 2 workers supporting 1 retiree. And in some years, the average pension is actually higher than the average salary. The system has become mathematically impossible. Between 2010 and 2015, pensions are cut by an average of 45%. Some retirees see cuts of 60% or more. United States, 2025 to 2033. The Social Security Trust Fund depletes in 2033 unless Congress acts. When the trust fund runs out, the system can only pay what comes in from current payroll taxes. That means an automatic 21% cut to all benefits. A retiree currently receiving $2,000 per month would see that drop to $1,580. No vote required, no debate. Automatic cut mandated by law. Understanding pattern recognition doesn't mean you need to panic, it means you need to prepare. That's why I created the 7-stage collapse survival guide. It walks you through exactly what to do at each stage, which assets survive, and how to position yourself now while there's still time. The guide includes stage-by-stage action checklists, the asset survival matrix showing what works at each stage, and country scorecards ranking 30 countries by collapse stage. Link in the description. But before you make any moves, let me show you what stage 5 looks like, because that's where all of this is heading. Stage 5, total collapse. The promises are broken, the system fails. People who spent their entire careers counting on these pensions receive a fraction of what they were promised, or nothing at all. Rome, 410 to 476 AD. The Western Roman Empire fragments. Veterans receive nothing. The pension system doesn't just fail, it disappears entirely. Many veterans join barbarian federations because they actually pay. Others establish themselves as local warlords. The collapse of the pension system is both symptom and cause of the empire's final disintegration. By 476 AD, when the last Western emperor is deposed, the concept of imperial pensions is a distant memory. Detroit, 2013 to 2014. The bankruptcy judge approves the pension cuts. 20,000 retirees who worked 20, 30, 40 years for the city see their guaranteed pensions reduced. These aren't wealthy people, these are firefighters, police officers, sanitation workers, middle-class retirees who did everything right and still got burned. The city emerges from bankruptcy, but trust in public pensions is permanently damaged. Young workers in other cities look at Detroit and realize their pensions might not be safe either. Greece, 2015 to present. After multiple rounds of cuts totaling 45% on average, the pension system stabilizes at a much lower level, but the damage is done. Elderly poverty increases dramatically. Suicide rates among retirees spike by 35% between 2010 and 2015. Families have to support retired parents who thought they were financially secure. The pensions still exist, but they're nowhere close to what was promised. And additional cuts continue in 2016, 2019, and beyond. United States projection. If Congress does nothing, the 21% automatic cut happens in 2033, but that's probably not how it plays out. More likely is a combination of measures. Some means testing, so higher income retirees get less. Some retirement age increases, some payroll tax increases, some reduction in cost of living adjustments, death by 1,000 cuts instead of one big cut, but the result is the same. Retirees receive significantly less than they were promised. How much of your retirement plan depends on Social Security? 25%? 50%? More? Drop a comment and let me know. Most people are counting on it for a significant portion of their retirement income. I want to know where you stand. Here's what stage 5 actually looks like for Social Security. Not the apocalyptic scenario where it disappears entirely, but the realistic scenario where promises get broken gradually. Option 1, means testing. If you saved money in a 401k or IRA, you get reduced Social Security benefits. This turns Social Security from social insurance into welfare. It also punishes people who saved. Option 2, raise the retirement age to 69 or 70. This is a benefit cut disguised as policy change. If you were expecting to retire at 67 and now have to work until 70, you've lost 3 years of benefits. Option 3, increase payroll taxes. Workers already pay 6.2%. Their employers pay 6.2%. Increasing these taxes means everyone has less money now to prepare for a future where benefits might be cut anyway. Option 4, reduce cost of living adjustments. They're already calculated in a way that understates real inflation. Reducing them further means benefits lose purchasing power every year. Option 5, some combination of all of the above. This is the most likely outcome. A little means testing, a little age increase, a little tax increase, a little COLA reduction, death by 1,000 cuts. Each individual change seems small. Together, they add up to retirees receiving 30, 40, 50% less in real value than they were promised. Here's what people need to understand. The pattern is clear. 3 different civilizations across 2,000 years have followed the exact same path. The United States is at stage 4. Social Security will not disappear entirely, but it will not deliver on its promises. The math doesn't work, the demographics don't work, the politics don't work. The question isn't whether benefits get cut. The question is how and when. We have 8 years until 2033. That's the timeline. That's when the trust fund depletes and automatic cuts kick in unless Congress acts. This isn't about panicking. This is about preparing. If you understand the pattern, you know what's coming. You know you need to build retirement income. That doesn't depend entirely on Social Security. You need to diversify. You need alternatives. You need to act while there's still time. If this video helped you understand the pattern, hit subscribe. Share it with anyone who's depending on Social Security for their retirement, because most people are. My next video breaks down the free asset system that survived every single collapse in history. Not gold, not stocks. Something most people aren't even considering. The 7-stage collapse survival guide is linked in the description. It includes the complete action plans, the asset survival matrix, and the country scorecards I mentioned. Thanks for watching. Prepare now or worry later. Your choice.